Well, we spent a ton of time today on this Friday talking the biggest story in town, and that is Husky basketball and the amazing game with the Cougars last night. And because of that, and because we had 5 guests that really loaded up the show, we had a hard time squeezing Blue 42 in. So we'll do it here online for a little feature over the weekend and get to our football, 3 good football questions. And there really are, I think, 3 good ones today. And let's start with the first one, and that's also some Husky news about Johri Fogerson, the running back. Bob Cadota on his blog reporting that he has been suspended from the team. And I think people will immediately ask, well, why wasn't Vinoy Overton suspended? And Steve Sarkisian went a tighter ship than Lorenzo Romar. And how does all that happen? Well, remember very clearly. In fact, Bob puts it down in his blog very well. He was charged. Johri Fogerson was charged, and because of that, per school policy, he has been suspended. So now the ball does go into Steve Sarkisian's court, much like it did with Lorenzo Romar, as they walk through this process and the attorneys get involved and they dig up all the facts, and they've got to go through all of this dance for who knows how long until all the facts come out and things get sorted out. But right now, Fogerson is suspended. I got to tell you, if I'm him, I'm treading on some very thin ice. Number 1, last year you saw Jesse Collier go nuts, make his name. Number 2, you have Chris Polk, one of the most accomplished backs in the history of the program, coming back, not going to the NFL for his redshirt junior year. And don't forget the name Deontay Cooper as well, who by all accounts last spring was going to beat Jesse Collier in more and get even more opportunities. So he is treading on thin ice in a career very tenuous at best right now. So question number 2, and we're going to go to the NFL. And we're going to go to the Tennessean and one of their bloggers by the name of Jim Wyatt, who writes on his blog, no doubt the Tennessee Titans on their radar is Matt Hasselbeck. And that should not come as a surprise. I think one thing you've got to figure in and really dig into, and I don't think people account for enough, is relationships, right? The old adage in business of it's who you know, not what you know. And how many different people have you networked and connected with? Well, similarly, that case exists in the NFL as well, and especially with agents. And remember that Matt Hasselbeck's agent, David Dunn, is one of these super agents with Tom Condon and what was once Lee Steinberg. There's some powerful agents in Octagon Sports that control so much of the market, not only representing players, but representing GMs, presidents, coaches, and David Dunn certainly has those in his repertoire as well. And Mike Reinfeld out there at Tennessee, very familiar with Matt Hasselbeck. He was here with the Seahawks. He's a decision maker there. They gave Kerry Collins that 2-year, $16 million deal, and I think that blogger in Tennessee is right. I know Mike Reinfeld has Matt Hasselbeck on his radar, as does San Francisco, where there's connections to David Dunn, as does Arizona. So there's going to be some teams bidding for Matt Hasselbeck if it comes to. And then lastly, as we get, again, looming with this lockout, and oh boy, we're about in the 11th hour as I'm taping this right now, and as I said, who knows what's going to happen. This is what we do know. Bloomberg News came out with their latest poll that they put together here in early March, where they reached out to America and took a very broad poll, and it was a simple question. Whose side are you on right now in this labor unrest and negotiation between the owners and the players? How about 43%? 43% of those are on the side of the players, only 20% for the owners, another 37% just uninterested, not the NFL followers. So 2-1, the players right now winning the PR case for the public. That doesn't surprise me. I'm in John Clayton's camp, Mike Salk's camp, a lot of us. I think the owners here are being a little bit greedy, not showing their books, wanting that $1 billion. Let's see how all this unfolds. Let's hope it doesn't go into this court system for a long, long time.